Is Discounty worth it? After playing 3 in-game weeks, I can confidently say it is so much more than a supermarket simulator. Grab a snack, get comfortable, and here's my experience. I started by creating my character and arriving in Bloomcast via bus, where I met my aunt Teller, the owner of Discounty, and the reason I moved here. Inside the shop, Grace, the executive shop assistant, walked me through the basics of running a supermarket. We also met Guy, the delivery man. Honestly, I love this tutorial. It kind of felt like I was genuinely being trained for a real job, but this is where my first gripe with this game came up: checking customers out. On PC it's probably smoother, but on Nintendo Switch it took some time to get used to it. After just one day of training, Teller tells us that the official grand opening is the next day. Showing me my living quarters, I immediately changed my character's look because I just wasn't feeling the purple hair. The next day I set up flyers for the opening, I learned how to order inventory, and got my first taste of the town's mystery when I saw a strange car and a blocked off path to the woods. Out of the shadows came Cornelius Key, the town's photojournalist, who told us about the fog that allegedly is making people feel off. With my remaining time, I explored the town, met a few locals, and bought some new decor. The next morning, Teller took us to the hardware store to buy new shelves and coolers. I set everything up, worked my shift, and then Teller gave us our next big mission: secure 3 trade deals with the local businesses. This led me to Carl the farmer, who straight up refused to work with us because he doesn't trust Teller. He's also stranded because a tree blocked the road to his farm and his sheep escaped. I did manage to get a deal with Barbara at the harbor and secured our first new product: fish sticks. I go back to Teller to report what happened with Carl, and I just love the characters in this game. They all have their own dramas, grudges, and just personality. To help Carl and win back his trust, we decided to round up all of his sheep. Also, at this point, I realized that Miss Anderson is always first in line at the Discounty, and I thought it was very wholesome. Grace showed us how to use the trash compactor, and after work, we met Teller at the park. Let me just say, she is a cunning and calculated individual. She hatched a plan to force Elmer, the county rep, to remove the tree by letting Carl's sheep eat his beloved plants. A bit manipulative, but it worked, and it worked quickly. With the road clear, Carl returned to his farm and we secured our second deal. Grace also introduced us to the Discounty reward system, which gives us daily and weekly goals to earn points that unlock new items and upgrades for our shop. Our last deal was with Fisher. You guessed it, the town fisherman. But Barbara controls all his catches, so she made us prove ourselves by selling her disgusting fish mist sticks. Fish seasoned with cinnamon, nutmeg, and ginger. Ew. We bought an aquarium at the hardware store, hoping that it'll boost our fish product sales. When I arrive at work, there's a mess all over the floor, and Grace teaches us how to clean. But at this point, I'm wondering, what does she even do all day if I'm doing everything around here? To my surprise, by the end of the day, we actually sold the fish mist sticks and locked in our final trade deal. Feeling like a workaholic, I reorganized the store and reported back to Teller. Next morning, Teller had a new business endeavor: expand Discounty into the abandoned tea shop next door. This leads me to speak with Elmer, who then redirects me to Gina since it's her grandfather's shop. On my way to work, Teller says she fired Grace, leaving me to run the shop solo. Honestly, I'm not gonna say she deserved it, but what did she even do all day? We get a chance to speak to Gina as she shops, and luckily she approves. I headed to Derek at the bank to start the sale, but first we needed licensing from Elmer, who had already gone home for the day. Since we don't work Sundays, I took the chance to explore, triggered some lore cutscenes, and learned about John Key, Cornelius's ancestor and alleged town pioneer. And just because I can, I was a menace to society that day. At Town Hall, Elmer says that he'll help us, but first we have to help him dispose of some stacks of paper. Turns out that maybe he's not the nice guy we thought he was. When we're done, we try to finalize the sale with Derek, but then it turns out we don't have enough funds. Week 2, I try to restock our products with our trade partners, but I realized everyone restocks on different days. So if I run out, I'm out till they restock. This leads me to my second gripe. When you buy products, they don't automatically go in your inventory. I often forgot to grab them and completely walked away and then had to walk all the way back. We unfortunately didn't make enough money that day. The next day we run into Chester, the only teen in town who had no interest in speaking to us. Fortunately, by the end of the workday, we had more than enough money to buy the tea shop. After a quick restock, I ran straight to the bank to finalize our deal. By the next day, we finally expanded, and while I love all the new space, Miss Anderson, our most loyal customer, was not happy. Regardless, I did a little reorganization and bought some more shelves and coolers. The next day, Cornelius wrote a negative article about our expansion. Teller, of course, was not happy and sent me to confront him. And just like that, we hit chapter 2. Around this time, the 4 storyline kicked off. Teller told us to sneak past the barricade to investigate the factory, which meant talking to Guy about a plan. I go for a lap around town before work when I notice the stairs to the harbor are closed off. After talking to Elmer, he tries to reassure me he'll fix it tomorrow, but I just don't believe him. After our workday, this is where gripe number 3 comes in. You can't skip the end of day summary. It just feels so long and I wish there was a way to bypass it. That night, a shadowy figure was waiting for us at home and threatens us, which really got me thinking, are we playing the villains here? Are we the big corporation ruining the small town? To no one's surprise, the stairs are not fixed the next day. I speak to Elmer and he reassures me that he'll get it done tomorrow. By now, the shop's got so many items and boosts that workdays feel super chaotic, but honestly, attempting to stay on top of everything is really fun. Once we close, I conspire with Guy about getting past the barricades and he tells me to meet him by town hall later. He sneaks me into the back of his truck and we're off. When we arrive at the factory, I find Elmer and Tammy discussing something. Boldly, I walk right up to her and propose a trade deal. And to my surprise, she agrees. But first, she wants to check out how we run our store. Elmer must be rage baiting because the next day, the stairs are untouched. When I speak to him this time though, he admits that he has no idea how to fix them. At this point, we have to take matters into our own hands. While exploring, I get a cutscene with Chester and Derek. Sounds like Chester hasn't been hanging out with the right crowd. I try to talk to him, but that doesn't really do anything. Tammy stopped by, but since I'm a one-man show attempting to do it all, she was not impressed, but she gave us another chance. I talked to Guy about the stairs, and he tells me to talk to Gina because she has a contracting business. We also finally confront Cornelius about his article, but he just tells us to not take it the wrong way. At the dump, we encountered a few rats that I don't remember seeing before, and there's a bowl highlighted in yellow, but I wasn't really sure what to do with it. When I get home, Teller says that our next business move is to expand Discounty yet again, meaning we need to secure a small loan of 25 million shill. Girl, be so for real. The next day, I run to the bank to have a conversation with Derek about the loan where he quite literally laughs in our face. By the end of that conversation, he tells us that we need to prove ourselves as a real supermarket before even getting approved. And that's exactly what we do in week 3, become a real supermarket. This meant upgrading trade deals, putting up ads, and keeping our customers' satisfaction high. We also unlocked fast travel as I finally figured out what you're supposed to do with the rats. If you offer them gifts, you unlock the sewers and you're able to go around different parts of town. Meanwhile, the harbor water turned green and Tammy asked us to spy on Barbara. The drama never stops. But I just have to talk about this because the pace at which NPCs walk was driving me crazy. After several days of grinding, we completed all the tasks and earned enough for the down payment. The final task, hire an employee. And of course, it was Chester, Derek and Tammy's son, the one person in town who openly hates us to our face. Chester can be a bit of a menace to society at times. He decided to open a lemonade stand right in front of our business in retaliation, but we handled it. The next day, he caved and showed up to work, allowing us to finally secure the loan. And honestly, it was actually really nice to have someone help with restocking. The last cutscene I saw was Teller outside the John Key Museum, hinting that the legend of John Key was a lie and implying that I should be the new town hero. Given that we're about to bulldoze a museum for another expansion, I don't think the townspeople will be thrilled with me. And that's where I decided to pause my journey. Now for the question you've all been waiting for. Is Discounty worth it? Although I haven't finished the game, I was pleasantly surprised by the story and subplots around town. The animation is absolutely beautiful, and the characters all have their distinct personalities and drama. As you dive deeper in the rabbit hole, the mystery keeps you compelled, and working the shop feels highly addictive. Each day always left me feeling like I wanted to play another day and another day. The pacing felt perfect. Every mission always branched out into more tasks, so there was always something new to do. I will say though, at times the dialogue felt repetitive or even out of order. People would keep introducing themselves even after already helping them complete a mission. Sometimes objectives felt unclear and a bit cryptic, especially with the rats, but overall, Discounty felt like a game with a real soul. It's available on PC, Nintendo Switch, Switch, PlayStation, and Xbox. And for $20, I couldn't recommend it more. But if you're still unsure, there is a demo available for the game if you'd like to try it out first. I sincerely had a blast playing this, and I can't wait to finish it. I've heard other people say that they finished it in about 15 hours. I think I'm roughly 10 in, so I think I'm pretty close to the end. If you've made it this far, comment below what other games you'd like to see me play and review next. Please don't forget to like this video. They do take a lot more effort to script and edit out. And if you're new here, hi. I'm Sarah. I yap about all things gaming and tech. I post shorts daily and a new long-form video every Saturday. If that's your thing, I'd love for you to stick around. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.